Awesome. Well, thank you for joining today for Pilates yoga. So nice to finally have the sun out. It's been gloomy for like 6 days. So hopefully we can get some of that energy into our workout today. Let's start by setting our posture, standing up, feet under hips. Feel yourself so tall, head lifting up to the sky, engaging the inner thighs, holding on to that core to keep a nice gentle curve in your back. Lift the rib cage up off the waist. Feel the rib cage expand outward. Inhale, let the belly open up. Feel how much room you have for your breath. Roll your shoulder blades a few times to loosen them up, and now drop the shoulders away from the ears. Open up the chest. Lift the chin, back of the head over the back of the spine. If you're comfortable with it, close your eyes. Let's take 2 more of those big expansion breaths. Nice. Hopefully you feel a little more present in your body. Let's come down to the mat to start our Pilates series. Let's start on our backs, legs extended. Legs are active, so those toes can be pointed. We don't want them to open in the hip sockets. We want the knees straight up to the sky, hip bones pointing to the sky. Engage your core, keeping the spine with its natural curve up above the floor. So compressing from the belly button. And we are going to do some angel arms. So running your arms along the mat up overhead on an inhale, and then on an exhale, bringing them down. Throughout this movement, we feel the engagement of the core. Your core is protecting that lower back. Your spine is not changing its curvature. So we're not lifting up and exaggerating the curve when we bring our arms up overhead, which is what we naturally do if we weren't engaging our core. We're keeping that same position. Compress, compress. Exhale. 3 more breaths like this. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. And one more time. Walk those feet in. Feet are flat on the mat. Chest is still super open. Continuing to compress that belly button down. We're going to do one leg and then the other. Inhale down, exhale. Hug that knee to the chest. Feeling the lower belly here press down when we bring the knee into the chest, really working that engagement. Still in a warm-up mode, but this warm-up is to warm up our muscles. Got to fire them to warm them up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's warm up that upper part of the abs. So we're going to lift the head and chest off the floor. We're going to do kind of a modified Pilates 100. So palms down to the mat, lift them up to the knees. Palms to the mat, lift them to the knees. So we've got our feet on the floor. We are pushing, pushing, pushing with the lower abs to lift the head and shoulders off the mat, lifting, lifting with these upper abs to keep that head and shoulders up to the sky, nice and slow, down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, nice job. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arms stay off the mat. Reach, reach, reach. Kind of your classic crunch here. Reach, reach, reach. And this is a ton of it is now in these upper abs. Reach. Nice. Little basic crunch. It's a classic for a reason. It will definitely target those six-pack abs. Reach, reach, reach for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll it down, rock the knees side to side. Let's come back to that single leg stretch that we were doing in our warm-up, but this time we're gonna do the full expression. So hugging one knee in, extending the other leg to hover over the mat, head and shoulders lifted up, pull in, switch sides. So a big extension, but really focus on getting that knee as close to the shoulder as you can. That helps you both to get a little stretch in your leg, but it's also a nice cue to keep your head and shoulders lifted. Great job. Love that hover. Really good. Nice lifting. Chin is not tucked into the chest. We're not cutting off our windpipe. Working on those neck muscles. You should have about the distance of a small apple between your chin and your chest. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug those knees, drop the head down to the mat, rock side to side. Great job. Let's do some single leg circles. We're gonna stay on our back, palms down to the mat. Lift up to tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. A left leg stays extended on the floor, toe pointed, leg engaged, knee up to the sky. Right leg is lifted up. Feel that compression of the belly button down to the spine. Spine has got its natural curve. We're not pressing it down into the mat. And we're gonna do, let's do big circles. Big circle out, hips stay pointed up to the sky, not letting those hips rock. Feeling how when your leg is up, it's your upper abs. When your leg is down, it's your lower abs. Feel it work going all the way up and down. That core, nice job. Extended leg stays engaged and pointed. It's not rolling around either. Circle here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. That leg sets down on the ground, lift the other leg up, circle through. Nice. Good control of those hips, really good. I'm not seeing any rolling. I really like that. Able to maintain that position as the weight of our leg tries to destabilize us, change our center of gravity. Circle, bend, circle through for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Extend both legs, shake them out. So we're going to come, you can tuck your thumbs underneath your glutes for a little bit of leverage. We're going to lift both legs into the air, and we are going to circle our legs out, bring them back in. So a double circle, lots of work. The farther your legs get down close to the mat, the more you're working there. So if you need a little break, you could just do shallower circles. Trying to open up wide, keeping that core engagement, feeling this work happening. Awesome. Beautiful job. Great flexibility. Keeping that belly button compressed down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug the knees, rock side to side. You can cross your feet. We're going to roll all the way through onto hands and knees in our tabletop position. We're going to use our leg as a lever again. So hands are under shoulders, knees are under hips, lifting up from below to have a nice supported spine, not collapsing through the shoulder blades either, pulling up through the shoulders, top of the head to the tailbone is one straight line. We're going to lift that leg behind to start, and we're going to open to the side, bring it to the back, lift it up, back to center. Open, back, lift, down. Open, back, lift, down. So throughout this movement, we've got our core working, especially when we bring our leg to the side, working to keep those hips parallel to the mat, keeping the spinal alignment so we're not twisting to the side. We're opening just that leg. You should feel your obliques working really hard. We lift that leg to the side, lift up. Nice little bit of work in our glutes here. Check in with your shoulders. Make sure you're still strong there. Make sure your gaze is somewhere around the top edge of your mat and that you can only see your fingers in the bottom of your peripheral vision. And you're not facing down toward your hands or your belly button. Great job. For 4, and lift. 3, and lift. 2, and lift. The last one, and let's do some pulse lifts here to the back. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Lengthen that spine. Imagine pushing the top of your head forward. Get as much distance between your head and your tailbone as you can. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit back, stretch your quads a little bit, roll your wrists, take a little pressure out of those. You can rock side to side to get some tension out of the spine before we go to the other side. All right, set yourself up again. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Strong engaged core, protecting the spine from below. Head is neutral. Starting by lifting that leg behind. This time I'm working on my left leg. Open to the side, lift to the back. Open and lift. Now this side will feel a little harder to start than the right side because that standing glute was doing a lot of stabilization work. So this leg has already had a workout. And lift. Especially on that leg lift, not letting the spine flex. So that's naturally what we would do. We would flex our spine. We would kind of drop that belly down to the mat to make more room for that leg to lift behind. But instead, that movement is just coming from the hip joint while our core stabilizes that spine and torso. Open and lift. Open and lift. Open and lift. Nice job. And lift. For 4, 3, 2, last one, and let's pulse, pulse, pulse that leg. Check your shoulders. Make sure they're still strong. You're not collapsing into them. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Lower spine just has its natural curve. We're not letting that belly drop down to give us way back. That'll give us more range of motion. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big toes together, knees open, press back into a child's pose. You can raise your hands to circle your wrists. Take some of the tension out of those. Pressing back into this child's pose. Try to get the tip of your nose onto the mat and see how that changes your stretch, if that's better for you. If it's not, then just rock the forehead more toward the top of the head. Nice. Coming through, we're going to come to a seated position now. Great. And we're going to do a modified boat. We're going to do a supported boat. So we've got our fingertips pointing toward our toes, strong, straight spine, squeezing those inner thighs together. We're going to stay really tall through the spine and lift those feet up off the mat, squeezing those inner thighs. This should feel like a lot happening in your lower abs. Nice straight spine. Great job. When we're in this position, a lot of the work can transfer to the hip flexors right here at the front of the thighs. So squeezing the thighs together, I find for me, helps bring the work back into the core. Lift, lift, lift. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming up into our boat to balance. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Coming back over, we're going to come onto our belly for some swimming. So let's start with a butterfly stroke. Plant the tops of your feet on the mat. Arms are extended. Lift head, arms, shoulders up off the mat. Reach through. That should give you an even higher lift. And come back down. We're coming back down to hover on the mat. You can rest your forehead on the mat in between strokes if you need to. But if you can keep those arms floating, keep the work happening as we strengthen our lower back here. Head is in line with the spine. Try not to drop it, certainly not craning the neck. Swim through, swim, swim for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Extend those arms, let them rest on the mat, chin resting on the mat. We're gonna flutter kick those legs, straight leg, knees lifted up off the mat if you can. Not just bending at the knee to kick those shins. Kick, kick. See how high in the air you can lift the legs. Trying to have just your hip bones as a point of contact with the floor. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Windshield wiper those shins side to side before we combine those two moves. It can feel really intense in your lower back. If it hurts, stop, modify, do half range, only do top half or bottom half. If it feels like work, then join me as we butterfly and kick. Kick. Swimming. Lifting up out of that water. Using our arms, the motion of our arms. Give us a nice, smooth, fluid movement through here. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's hold back here in our locust. Palms up, shoulders down away from the ears, legs up. Trying to have the hip bones as the point of contact with the floor. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push back into your child's pose. Toes together, knees apart. You can rock your hips side to side. That gives you a better little stretch of that lower back. Nice. All right, let's finish up our Pilates series with a side plank reach. So you can be on your elbow, you can be up on your hand if that's more comfortable. You can be on your knees, on one knee with the top leg extended. You can extend both legs. You can stack your feet. I think I'm gonna have my top foot open. In front of me here. Trying to have those hips straight up and down, shoulders straight up and down, and we're gonna reach and down. Reach overhead, down to the hips. Reach, and on that overhead reach, you can kind of lift your hips even higher into the air. Up and over. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Set it down. Switching to the other side. Choose your plank variation. Lift yourself up off the mat. Up and over. Back down to the hip. Up and over with that arm. Feel your obliques working as you reach through. Feel the muscles that are pushing those hips into the air, keeping them hovering above the mat for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down. You can drop those hips those knees side to side. Make sure your lower back is nice and loose. And let's come up to standing to start our yoga series. Starting on hands and knees, tuck those toes under. Rising onto your feet, walk your hands back and slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. You don't want to get any head rush here. Roll those shoulders back down. Let's just start with 3 breaths here. So we're going to plant our feet under our hips. Feel that nice distance, that nice length. Inhale those arms up and gaze can go up toward the hands. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. This time, let's inhale up. And we're going to extend over, arms extended, extend, extend, extend. Nice straight back, reaching forward those arms. When you can't reach any more forward, we're going to drop down into a fold. And we're going to slowly roll back up. Inhale, arms up. Extend, arms forward, straight back, reach, 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 reach. And then we can come down into our fold. We'll hold this for a breath or 2. You can grab a yoga toe hold if you like. And slowly roll up. One last time for that. Inhale, arms up. Extend, over and reach. And fold. This time, let's do a ragdoll. Grab your opposite elbows with your hands, working to straighten your legs. Feel a good stretch on the back of the leg, especially that hamstring. Head is heavy and floating toward the mat. Drop those hands. Inhale to a flat back. You can bring your hands onto your shins. Exhale, palms onto the mat. Step or jump into your plank. We didn't do a regular plank during our Pilates series, so let's hold this for 5 breaths. Head extended. You can, of course, drop to your knees. Now a big inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Hug those elbows to the rib cage, coming to hover above the mat. Pressing forward into an up dog. Shoulders open, chest open. Push back into a down dog. And take a little break here. You can stay in down dog or you can come down to child's pose. Whatever will give you a little break. If you are in down dog, try to roll through your shoulders to drop your head even more down between your arms. Try to let your heels float down toward the mat. Fingers are spread. Weight is evenly distributed between the palm and the fingers to take pressure off the wrist. And if you chose child's pose, press back up to down dog. Inhale that right leg into the air. Exhale, step it between the palms. Rotate that left foot down to the mat and rise up into our warrior one. Hips are square to the front. Outside edge of that left foot is pressing into the mat. Shoulders away from the ears. Beautiful. Love it. Big inhale, and on the exhale, see if you can float down deeper into this pose without losing your alignment. Palms back down to the mat. Stepping back to our plank. Inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg up in the air. Step it between your hands. Right foot turned down to the mat, pressing the outside edge. Hips square to the front. Feeling a lot of rotation in those hips or in that pelvic girdle. Big inhale, and on the exhale, trying to float down deeper into this pose. And palms to the mat. Step back into the plank. Inhale, chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. And now let's come through our whole warrior sequence. Inhale, right leg up. Step it to the mat. Warrior one. Should feel nice and familiar. Palms to heart center. Open to your warrior two. Make sure you see your big toe on the inside of that front knee. Inhale, front palm up to the sky. Exhale to reverse your warrior. And coming to our extended side angle, tuck that elbow inside that front thigh. Bottom hand open to the sky, top arm reaching, floating down if you can. If you have a bind, feel free to take it here. Reach through under your arms with your bottom hand. Up and over with the top hand. Trying to get those shoulders back open to the wall. And palms to the mat. Step that right foot back. Inhale, chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, step through to warrior one. Inhale, palms to heart center. Open to warrior two. Gaze over those front fingertips. Flip that front palm up, reaching back. Tip your warrior, fingertips either above or below the knee. not putting pressure on the knee. And reach forward into our extended side angle. Strong bottom hand, reaching top arm. And you can stay here, or you can try the bind. I do not have my top shoulder all the way open to the front, but that is certainly the goal here. Palms to the mat. Step back into the plank. Big inhale. Exhale, float down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Look between your hands. Step or jump your feet up to meet them. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Palms up to meet. Exhale those palms to heart center. We're going to do a dynamic balancing pose today. So let's start with hands on hips. Pick up all of the toes of your right foot and set them down one at a time. Feel your right foot having as many points of contact with the floor as it can. And we're going to lift that left leg into the air. Trying to keep your hips square, not hiking this hip up. And now you can lift those arms overhead. And we're going to sweep that leg through, coming into a warrior three. Again, hips square to the mat. Reaching here. Balancing for 2 more breaths. Keeping your arms overhead, see if you can swing back through to that front extended leg pose. Just 2 more breaths. And set that leg down. Awesome. Now I'm going to tell you I cheated by doing my good leg first. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it without touching down on this leg, but we'll try. So lift up all the toes of your left foot now. Feel the points of contact with the floor. You can start with your hands on your hips. Raise that right leg into the air. Feel what it takes to have your hips square. The right hip is not hiked up. Lift those arms to the sky. Big breath in. And on your exhale, we're sweeping through to that warrior three. Trying to have a straight line from those fingertips to the toes. One more breath. And keeping those arms extended. See if you can swing through. Lifting that right leg into the air. Holding here for 2 more breaths. And set the leg down. Great job on that balance. Really good. That one is really challenging because you're destabilizing yourself all over the place. Let's do some triangle. Maybe we'll do some dynamic there with extended side angles, seeing how we feel. So one foot, toes are facing to the front, other foot, toes facing to the side. Take your hips, twist them back to face the front, same direction as these front toes. Extend those arms, reaching over until you can't reach anymore. Coming down into this triangle. Top hand reaching to the sky, bottom shoulder pushing forward to rotate that top shoulder open even more so that your shoulders are parallel to the wall. You should be feeling an awesome stretch right here in your hip and your sacroiliac joint, that little dimple right above your booty. And let's bend this knee, extend the top arm. Coming back into our extended side angle. See how that changes things, brings the stretch a little more into the rib cage, into those intercostal spaces, and rise back up into your triangle. Inhale, exhale, bend the knee, extend into your extended side angle. And one last time, inhale up to your triangle. See if you can now let that hand get a little further down your leg or even onto the mat without losing your shoulder position. But the little movement can sometimes help us find depth we didn't know we had. And now lift that top hand up to raise yourself, switch your feet, reset those hips, square to the front, reaching over, 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 coming down into our triangle, using this bottom shoulder to rotate the top shoulder. Gaze up at that top hand. Big inhale, and on the exhale, bend that knee, arm over, other hand up to the sky. Use the top arm to lift yourself back into triangle, recommitting to that shoulder rotation. And extended side angle, changing that stretch just a little. And last time, rise up into triangle. See if you can slide that hand down the leg a little more. Awesome, beautiful stretch. Gaze up to the sky. Lifting with that top hand, rise yourself up, arms extended. Let's straddle our mat in a V, hands to hips. Big inhale, tiny back bend, just lifting up that chest. And exhale, down into this stretch. Palms down to the mat. See if you can reach your hands through that tunnel of your legs, palms up. See if you can bring your weight more toward your toes so that it's more evenly distributed through your foot rather than all in your heel. Try to let go of the muscles in your legs so your knees can straighten and you can get that beautiful stretch. Now bring your palms to the mat, walk them forward, depending on your flexibility. More forward or less forward, I need a lot. And we're just gonna bring our head down to the mat as though to prepare for a headstand. If you have a headstand, feel free to go into it. I'm just gonna work on the prep here. Try to float your heels down toward the mat. Stretch out the calves. And now walk your feet together. Come down to your knees. Press back into child's pose. This will be our last stretch before we come into our Savasana. So stay here as long as you'd like. And when you're ready, just bring your legs through to lay down on the mat. Palms up to the sky, tuck your shoulder blades underneath you, press your shoulders away from your ears, let your legs relax. Feet flop open, close your eyes. Let your breathing slow. Wiggle your jaw, your lower jaw, and unstick your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Roll over onto one side, using your arm as a pillow. Bend your knees, tuck your feet into a fetal position. When you're ready, push yourself up to a seated position. Palms down on above the knees, on the thighs above the knees. Gentle press down with the palms to lift that head higher up into the sky. Feel that spine straighten. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Open up your chest. Inhale all the way up, arms up above. Palms together. Exhale. Bring those palms to heart center. Inhale your palms to the center of your forehead, where your third eye resides, the center of your intuition. Place that reminds you to trust yourself. Big inhale, and if you'd like, you can join me in a bow. Namaste. Thanks for joining our Pilates yoga practice.
Thank you. That was awesome.
I'm so glad you enjoyed it.